I'm Serilda Goodwin. I play Gloria in A Christmas Blessing, and you're watching So Booking Cool.
Hi, I'm Joshua Lewis. I play the role as Eli on A Christmas Blessing, and you're watching So Booking Cool.
Hey y'all, this is Lala Nicole, and I play Andrea Langley in A Christmas Blessing, and you're watching So Booking Cool.
Hi, I'm Toni Henderson Mayers. I play Aunt Gwen and the sister to Bernadette Stannis in the movie, and had a great time. And I'm looking forward to talking more about the movie.
Hey, I'm Chad Wilson, and I play Travis in A Christmas Blessing, and you watching So Booking Cool.
So Booking Cool.
It's so motherfucking cool to listen to So Booking Cool.
Happy holidays, everyone. It's Joel B. Welcome to So Booking Cool. In this episode, I chat with the cast of A Christmas Blessing by Stacie Davis Films and Film Barrel. The cast members include Lala Nicole Black, Serilda Goodwin, Joshua Lewis, Toni Henderson Mayers, and Chad N. Wilson. The first question is, what do the holidays mean to you?
Well, for me, the holidays is about family, just enjoying time with them. Of course, some people have a little bit more hard time around this year after losing loved ones. I can attest to that. I've lost a few loved ones over the way, but just being able to be with those that are still here, creating memories is amazing. For one, you get time off of work. You get some time with your family. You get to spend some money and go broke a little bit. But the holidays for me has just always been fun, and just being surrounded by family and especially with love.
What about you, Josh?
I mean, I really can't top what she just said, but I really can say about that broke part. Yeah, I can attest to that. But no, spending like, just time with the family, like she mentioned, I really can't top that. Again, I would like to touch on that, praying for everyone that has lost someone special and dear to them, because that has happened to me as well. So around that time, it gets hard. But going around family and being around everyone, I just say it brings smiles to the heart. And I love it. I love that time of the year, because you don't get to see family all the time.
Do you remember when you first heard the word holiday and who told you about it and what it meant, Toni?
Well, I come from a very religious home. So my father was a pastor, and the holidays are a religious time for us. Thanksgiving also happens to be a time of year that my father passed, but it was a time that we drew closer together, and we remembered many of the things that he taught us. Christmas for us is the birth of Jesus Christ. So it starts off with church and remembering his time and what he's given to us, and it motivates us to give to one another. And like Lala said and Joshua said, for me, it's a really big family time. So very early on, it was always church, it was always family, food, fun, that type of thing.
What about you, Serilda? Is it Serilda or Serilda?
It's Serilda.
Serilda.
I'm also a PK, and I forgot to say where I was from. I was born in New York and served in the Army, so I've been in New Mexico and here and there and everywhere, but I am in North Carolina now and loving it. But I can't remember the first time anyone said holiday to me. We spent a lot of time at my grandma's house when I was a kid. White Christmas tree, not the real, but we had family over, everybody came over. And then we moved back down here where my mom's from, and just slightly different there's no snow because it's kind of hot down here. So it's a different kind of experience when you're down here in the South doing Christmas, because you don't have the snow and the ice and all the stuff that we have when I grew up in New York, but it's just a good time to be around people.
Thank you for that. Last but not least, Chad.
Yes, ma'am. To tell you the truth, the holidays for me during my childhood was really good. But going to the invasion to Iraq around this time, around the holidays, I lost so many friends, especially 5 really close ones, and I didn't really like celebrating, the holidays for a long time. But I'm starting to get back into the spirit, staying positive, not just, not just for veterans, what I'm saying? I'm trying to show that there is, light at the end of that tunnel. And, working with this beautiful cast that, gave me the opportunity to, jump into this career, it meant everything to me, because I'm looking forward to like the holidays. I'm seeing the movie that we did and how much of a good job we have done. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what, I'm starting to like the holidays again. So it's beautiful to me.
So yeah, you came together for a Christmas blessing. Just want to know kind of what attracted you to the arts, and also please let us know, do you remember the first person that kind of encouraged you to say, you know what, you have something, you should go after this? Toni, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm wearing my high school shirt. I went to Arts High School of Performing Arts in New Jersey. That's why I was like, whoop, whoop, with New York over there. I'm originally from Ohio, but I grew up in New Jersey. And it's the nation's first performing arts school. So you know some of the graduates, but there's many more, like Melba Moore, Tisha Campbell, Michael P. Jordan. It's so many of us that are working and doing really well in that. I first saw my mother and father pretty much in the arts. And of course, anybody who's been part of a Black Baptist church, you're gonna see all of the arts on display, okay? But then I went into it professionally after being trained at a performing arts high school, and I worked in New York and performed, did very well in theater, and did some television, whatnot, but it wasn't a lot of Blacks on television at that time, late 90s, until the strike with SAG-AFTRA in 2000. And that's when you saw a lot of Blacks come onto commercials and different things like that. But in the interim, I started my own theater company and did a lot of works, plays, shows, events, and I just started doing it. I think the first time somebody said that I really should be doing it is when I actually auditioned. I was going to go to Arts High for singing because that's a gift that runs in the family, a musical gift. But I think when I actually did a presentation, what we call a monologue, and transform myself into someone totally different, I think that's when someone said, you really should do this.
My story is totally different. I followed my kids into acting. I would take my kids out and people would say, you need to get them in something. At the time, we lived in Illinois, and I actually had an agency that was interested in my second oldest. And then we moved down here to North Carolina, and I didn't know Little Hollywood was down here. So I thought, well, never mind that, we'll just live our regular life. But long story short, all of the kids ended up in little movies and commercial stuff like that. And they would keep asking me, hey, do you want to audition? And at the time, my baby was little, like you would not hear anyone else's audition. If I put her down and go in there, everyone will be drowned out. So I finally quit saying no and ended up acting with the kids, and I like it. I think I'm gonna stay.
I modeled, over 20 years ago, just giving away my age. And I thought that was just the pinnacle of what I was going to be able to do, because at the same time I was serving in the military. But as time went on, and once I retired, a couple of people contacted me to go to an expo in Myrtle Beach, and I'm always been like a motivational, speaker for people. And I went to this expo, I've seen people get on that stage and they was getting scared and running back. Well, that just motivated me to get them back on that stage and, be able to perform. Don't worry about what other people think. You know what I'm saying? You're your worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is your worst enemy. And I did my 60-second monologue. I did it in Russian, cause I was just there to have a good time. But I got approached by a lot of people. And one of the people there asked me, it was like, well, have you ever acted before? I was like, I've been acting my whole life because I'm autistic. And I just was actually just giving them that answer, you know what I'm saying? Because that's typically, what I think and what I believe, but they was like blown by it. And thanks to this cast that we in here with right now, they gave me the opportunity for my first table read. And, I was nervous, but it was Ryan Toby that taught me how to improv. And then everybody was motivating me because the confidence I got now is just because of this crew that's right here. So I really appreciate y'all. So thank you.
So for me, it's a little different. growing up, I used to do like videos of me like dancing to like these routines for like music videos and stuff like that. And I used to record myself, and I'm talking about Aaliyah and Christina Aguilera. My mom used to be like, "You wasting my tape with all of these recordings that you're doing." But I'm like, "Mom, you know, I would do like the whole outfit changes and everything." And then I started doing like watching Comic View and watching them do their stand up, and I would be able to mimic everything that they were doing. So it was kind of early. People would tell me like, you know, you should do this and you should do that. And I was kind of like, I'm like a singer. And then like I played sports. So all through high school, that's what I did. Sports was my life. From 7 up into college, I still played sports. I played volleyball in college and I ran track. It was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, right around when COVID hit. So yeah, around COVID, that's when I got a TikTok. And when I got on TikTok, I started like doing little skits from like the movie Friday or Set It Off, and you know, just doing those type of things. And people would just be like, "Girl, like, how do you remember all of these words, and like how do you like mimic everything? You're like down to the actual wardrobe that they're wearing." And like when they would do it side by side, they're like, "This is really good." And Stacie and I actually went to college together. So we went to Claflin University. Shout out to 1869. We went to Claflin University together. So I knew Stacie, but it was just like in passing us, you know, speaking or whatever. And then one of my skits I posted on my Facebook, she kind of commented on it. And by this time, I think she had already completed the first Christmas movie, which is Christmas in Carolina. She had completed that movie. And I kind of just jokingly said, "Hey, you know, if you need somebody, just hit me up." And then maybe like 2 or 3 weeks later, I actually got a DM from her. And she said, "Hey, I'm working on this show. It's called Hanging with the Taylors." And she said, "I would like for you to audition for the role of Rachel." And I was like, "Okay." So I auditioned for it, sent that in, and then she was like, "Okay, we're gonna offer you the role of Rachel." I was the last piece of the cast that came in. Apparently, you know, they already had someone, but they had to move forward. And that's where I met Miss Toni. So Miss Toni was my sister-in-law on the show. And Ryan Toby, he played my husband on the show. So we actually had the show Hanging with the Taylors. So we completed season 1. And then after that, it was kind of like, okay, this is something I could, you know, do, just being on set. Because it was actually my first time, like actually hearing the action cut, you know, take back. Like it was just a lot going on. But and then Stacie reached out to me again and asked me if I would take the role of Andrea for this movie. And we just actually finished filming up something else like a couple weeks ago. So it's just a rolling thing with me with her now. So that's kind of where I am. Do I want to stay in it? Absolutely. I'm trying to get Tyler Perry, Issa Rae, holla at your girl if you see me on TV. You know, I'm trying to continue with all of that. So I like it.
Go on.
All right. So first, I want to give a shout out to Miss Stacie, Film Barrel Studios, Darren, Q, the cast. But yeah, it's a lot different for me. I was one day just sitting down watching TV with my fiance, and it was like, I think it was Love and Marriage, or Love and, I don't know, it was one of them. And it's just a simple fact that they will say, "I want to go do this today," and they actually execute it. Or they'll say, "I want to go be an actor." To go be an actor, you know, just small examples. And I was like, I could do that. I could do it. So I done all my research on YouTube. I got with this guy. Shout out to Cody Bear. He's been my basically my partner. Like I said, my fiance as well, on pushing me on moving forward with all of this. Because she'll tell me, "Look, we only got 3 tries. That's all I'm gonna give you. So we got to get it right." Usually, I'm trying to be called Mr. 1 to 2 take king up in my household. So again, like I said, it was a lot different for me. It was basically watching TV, watching television, doing the research, getting with the right like-minded people that doesn't judge you. Yeah, a lot of people say don't focus on what the outside says, but sometimes it's difficult to actually do that. Sometimes fear gets in the way of that. but you just got to continue to keep looking forward and actually walk in that path that you want to walk in. So I'm 3.5 years into acting. Right now, I'm trying to enroll in school. I've been getting bookings, and of course, you guys seen the movie A Christmas Blessing. I had my locks, at the time. Yeah, they're gone now. I'm trying to do a little, fresh, just all brand new, with the same new style, new me. So I just want to tell everybody, just do whatever you want to do. Continue to keep your head down, stay grounded, and you can do it. You can do anything as long as you put your mind to it. Give 100% to it.
What makes a great ensemble cast, Serilda?
I think one of the things, each set that we're on, you learn, you meet people, and you grow. They mentioned Ryan Toby. The first movie I was in was Another Christmas with Ryan Toby, and I just soaked up everything that he shared with us while I was there. And Miss Bernadette has been so awesome to work with. She's so down to earth, so sweet. She just is a regular person. To us, she's a queen because we all watched her as we grew up on TV, but she's a regular person. And I think one of the most important things for people who aspire to do this, take reading seriously, because if you're not reading well, you're gonna have a little bit of difficulty with the scripts and memorization. I'm a little bit older. I think I'm the only retired cast member, but so I have a little bit more time to look at scripts and stuff like that when they come across. But just if I can encourage one person, don't think because we're in the movie and you're not, that you cannot do what we're doing. You can, just like little brother said, you can do anything that you put your mind to. The only thing that's going to stop you is you.
Now, do you all remember when you went for this role or how it came into your life? I know Lala talked a bit about it, but yeah, how did you feel, when you heard about this project? How did it show up in your life?
Yeah. Okay, going back on. Okay, I know I'm just speaking out of turn, but so going back on it, I was shocked because I won't say it fell in my lap. It just came across my inbox again, doing the research and everything, get my backstage set up, and it was just in my inbox, and I was like, somebody actually found, they see me, so I was shocked, and I was really putting all 24/7. Yeah, I work, and that was on the back burner because I wanted to give this my all. And if I could give you the number, how many takes? Like I said, it still blows my mind today because for her to find me and see something in me and give me that role of Eli, I really appreciate it, Miss Stacie. I really do. And again, I was flabbergasted and blown away.
I feel the same way as my buddy do. I'm brand new to acting, just 2 years into it, and I started my backstage page, and all of a sudden, Stacie, came out of nowhere and offered me a role, just for a couple of scenes and hanging with the Taylors, and she just, she brought me in. She told me, hey, look, make it your own. Make sure you always prepare for table readings, because table readings are very, very important. And I'm telling you, my base zero ground for me in acting is because of Stacie Davis. I'm telling you, because she believed in me, somebody that's just new out there, almost like a blank, backstage page. And she gave me the confidence. She gave me the overwhelming feeling of security, going into this. And I can't thank Stacie enough. So, and also working with this cast, being able to work with them on Hanging with the Taylors and being part of this movie, I'm on cloud nine. I really am. I am very, very grateful. I'm grateful.
Toni, would you say that you also feel grateful for being a part of this film? And what is it that you're most grateful for exactly?
Well, yeah, I'm grateful for any role that I receive. Lala and I have done Hanging with the Taylors together, which that was a mystery in of itself about that role, how I came about. But by the time we got off of that, Stacie had asked me to be part of this role. And I'm always grateful because the older I get, now I'm a professor of the theater and other things, but I act full time. So I know what it's like to struggle for roles for just being a Black person, and especially back in the late 90s. It was just a struggle. And I know what it's like too, as you get older as a woman, how there's less roles. So you have to really kind of struggle to get roles with that. And then I know what it's like, if you are not totally thin after you had your children and you are real, shaped woman, I'll put it that way. Like most women shape, it's a lot of times it's not even written in the script as if most Black women don't look this way, right? But usually they're young, and most roles are written for people like 20 and 30 years old. When the older you get, they're not even writing roles. So I was very grateful that she had written a role for someone who's over a certain age, so someone who can be a real shaped woman, someone who's African American. And I say that from being in years in this business of what I've seen. And so it's always a super blessing to be able to do that. And also to do a role that you can relate to as well. Because sometimes roles are written that are just far from what the culture may do, far from what a woman may do, far from ethnically what you may do, morally, all of those types of things when you're trying to get really great roles. So a writer is extremely important. And so when you have someone who takes all of those things into account, I'm super grateful. So I'm super grateful for every role. And just to kind of touch a little bit on, you said, what makes a great cast? I was taught years ago, there are no small actors. Some people get super crazy over the stars and then they kind of poo-poo everybody else. Every person has an important role to make that play or that movie or that television show work. There's no small actors. And so what the writers are important. When we talked about Film Barrel Studios, Stacie Davis Films, every last person is important in this. And so for that, I am truly grateful for any opportunity that comes my way.
And speaking of writers, Lala, and on this show, it has come up, authors will talk about writing about what they know, directors, filmmakers, sharing what they know. Now, do you think that that's always necessary, or sometimes, you should challenge yourself or only go for roles where it's like, I can relate to that, or this is something that I know? What do you think about that?
I say you should always challenge yourself, because like with Hanging with the Taylors, like I've never been in a situation where I was a widow with a child, and I'm now marrying a man that has 2 older kids, and I have to deal with his sister, which is Toni. I love you, Toni. I have to deal with her, and then even with A Christmas Blessing, like I don't have children, so I had to play a role of a baby mama who's like crazy in the mind, but so it was one of those things like, okay, I've never had to play any, I can't relate to this. However, I'm going to give you what you need. So if that's me, if that's me looking at other things of how people do and how they act, then so be it. But I do want to do more serious roles. I want to do action, so it's not just getting in that box, because that's how you get cast type, is what they called it. So I don't want to do that. I want to be able to go here and there. Hey, we need somebody that can bring the funny. Okay, let's get Lala. But we also need somebody that can bring the drama. Okay, let's get Lala. We need somebody that can freeze, get down, everybody on the ground. Boop, boop, boop. Let's bring the Lala. I need all of that. So, but it is good to see like different roles and people just expressing like, this is what I've seen, this is what I know. And with Toni, seeing everything that she has done, she's very, across the board, whatever you want to do. So I look to people like her. Like she said, no one is too small. So even your actors that are, you don't see out like that, it's still some that that you could be like, I want to be like this person. Like I want to be able to do what they're doing.
Who are some of your acting inspirations or influences?
I was just going to do a shout out to Stacie also. This is the last question that you asked. I didn't audition for A Christmas Blessing. Stacie worked with me on A Christmas Blessing. I'm sorry, Another Christmas. So I didn't have to audition for that one, which is not normal. You normally do have to audition for everything. And I actually worked on another project with Josh. And that is, you don't know Jack, the series Tres Chicas, which was a ton of fun. But it's always good to challenge yourself. That role is completely different than any of the other ones I've done. So you do want to do, just like Lala said, you want to grow, you want to change, you want to challenge yourself. You don't want to be stuck typecast as the grandma, because I am a grandma, but I want to make sure that I'm well-rounded and learn as much as I can. One of my favorite actresses, Miss Bernadette. We saw her grow up, we watched her, and she is one of my, I just aspire to be like her. She's good people.
All right. So I got a list, but I'm just naming a few at the top. So my goal is to be on Power. I love that show. Shout out to Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. Just like Lala Bang Bang. I can't do it as good as her. Anyway, so Omari Hardwick. So that's one guy that I really admire when it comes to just the craft itself. I mean, of course, Denzel, but those types are of acting is just that's another level that I really wanna touch and grow into. Again, adding on to them, taking roles that are challenging and actually trying to become that character versus actually have lived or have seen or have known someone that has lived the specific character that you are actually going for.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an amazing experience because you actually take a break from your life. Sometimes it could be like my life is kind of stressful, and just for roles that I can be calm, collected, or I can tell somebody, hey, give me all your money, or it's just that switch up that it just gets you away from your world for a second. Now you can go and become someone else and just see the opportunity. And man, what an opportunity that just anything comes along when it comes to this filming. And you just actually see it play out in front of you like a Christmas blessing. Please, everybody, go see it. What everybody probably will not notice is I was going through Bell's palsy at the time during filming. And that was the most tough situation I've ever been in. But, Miss Stacie, she believed in me. She kept checking on me. And it was very different for me. I was uncomfortable. Of course, I was down about it, but I gave it my all. And now everybody probably gonna go back and check it out now, just see if they can try to catch it. But it was a fun experience, and that's just my story. Omari Hardwick for me, and Denzel.
I wanted to share my three, well, a few of them that I have. Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett, she is the epitome of across the board. Is I can't even explain it all the way. She's definitely one. Halle Berry. And if I go to the men's side, it would be Will Smith. They are the ones that are across the board. Whatever you put them in, they're gonna deliver. How can I forget Denzel? I can't forget Denzel. No, can't forget him. So they're all just across the board. So those would be my four if I had to, if I could sit down with them and get some of that off of them, I would. And also Viola Davis. Okay, that's it. I'm stopping right there. Because if I go, I'm gonna keep going. But those five right there, if I could sit with them and talk acting, I think I would do it. I wouldn't think, I would do it.
And with A Christmas Blessing, this is a movie that does explore relationships and romance, among other things. Why do you think holiday movies and A Christmas Blessing in particular is a good way to tell these kinds of stories?
Just for what I just experienced and stuff, some people, some families and friends. They don't have, they think their situation is worse than, the other person. So seeing a movie like we created and a lot of other, movies like this one, you can see people that, although they're going through hard times or they're just not this, they're just having like a streak of bad luck, you know what I'm saying? They're still family, they're still friends, they're still people to reach out on. It makes you appreciate being grateful for the things that's right here in front of you. Also, it makes you appreciate what you can control. Focus on that. What you can't control, just put it in a small box and just push it to the side. Keep it there, you know what I'm saying? But at this time, during the holiday season, what you can control that. And if you can control that, you know what I'm saying, be grateful for what you have right there in front of you. I don't care if it's just a half glass of, water or, a straight cast, something like that. Being a human being, period, is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So with this cast, the way we portrayed our movie and stuff like that, we were just everyday people, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to just find happiness and, and show love.
And what really is the heart and soul of A Christmas Blessing?
The heart and soul to me was grandmom's love is powerful. And sometimes when that member of a family, especially African American family, when that grandmother perished, it seems like everything just kind of like falls apart for a little bit. Because grandma, was that mold, what I'm saying, coming through history, keeping everybody together. So I think that depicted that well. Grandma wanted something for her granddaughter, and she tricked me. She tricked a bunch of us. The role I play, Travis. And she made a Christmas blessing because she got her daughter with a man that will truly love and appreciate her.
Do you think sometimes it's on someone else to bring two people together for love and romance? Or is that something more so that you have to discover for yourself?
I think it's something that you got to discover for yourself, but you also got to realize that things, happen for a reason. And you always gotta have those catalysts. People don't really know the catalyst, but for right now, on this, this playing this reality, grandma was the catalyst and stuff, and love can happen anywhere, and it happened to happen in this movie, The Christmas Blessing, because the way it was portrayed out, those two, they didn't really like each other. They knew each other in high school, but over the time they learned to get along with each other and grow, and get to know one another and stuff like that. And that was her, the grandma just praying like, please, I want this to happen. So that's a very good question. I think I'm 50-50 on that one, but yeah, I think things happen for a reason, especially love.
I actually think that it's a team sport. Now, I happen to be a person who talks about relationships on a regular basis. So those who know me, who may be watching this, like, I know she's gonna say something. But I've been in a relationship for a long time, been married now 29 years. So I believe that it's a team sport. Yeah, you're gonna marry that person. And a lot of people say, my parents don't have anything to do with it or whatever, but that's not true. Whoever you choose to have your life with affects your whole family. And so I think what this movie does is show how it does affect the family and how family members can be a part of it, and how sometimes our mother has a better eye. Sometimes our brother's like, that ain't the one. Okay. And how the family can come together. And if you have a loving family, whether that means blood relationships or friends or combination thereof, that they can be extremely happy, helpful in your happiness and helping you choose love and what's good for you. Because sometimes we think too low of ourselves, and then sometimes we don't pull what's good for us close to us. But the people who love us say, no, that right there, that's good for you. Yeah, that's fine. Or I don't think so. And they can see danger far ahead than us. So it's okay to allow people who love you to look out for you. But you got to do the work too. They can't do it all, and you can't do it all. We have to do it together.
So well said. Josh, what was your approach to playing Eli and, being in center of the love story?
Oh, it's time. It's ready. I'm ready. It was, yeah, no, I'm gonna keep that same energy. No, I was ready. I was really ready. I embarked the entire presence of the character. Um, Sometimes, shout out to Ice. He was definitely a major part of just the entire time when we were filming. Just, sometimes I'll hop out of character sometime and he'll be right there. He'll nudge me and be like, what you doing? Eli wouldn't do that. So he kept me in that mind, that perspective of think about what Eli would do. And I, I was ready for the role. I was, because many other roles that I've played, like the supporting roles, and I watched others. I studied. I just kept looking at like how their actions, their emotions, how they all carried over, and I just said, okay, this is my moment. I'm gonna embrace it, and I embraced what I didn't know also as well, and I just put a spin on it, and man, I loved every moment of it. I did.
Serilda, what are you hoping that people will take away from the film, and for those who have seen it, what have they told you so far?
Oh my goodness. The people who have seen it so far love everyone in the cast. They love the different stories because it shows diversity. We're not just showing the perfect family. We're showing a mom who is struggling and sometimes she's not doing the right mom stuff, and a dad who absolutely adores the baby. So it's showing how family should be. It doesn't show a deadbeat dad. It shows a dad who's trying to do what he's supposed to do for his child. And then the thing, I agree with Chad, this show is about a grandma showing how much she loves her baby and she wants the best for her. And we as the aunts, same, we want the best for our family. And that's how it is in real life too. Sometimes the grandma might not be there and then the aunts have to step up. They have to play that role. So I am excited about, my dad would have been I lost my dad 2 years ago, but his excitement, I want to see some people that are colored like me in a show. He's older, so he said colored, like Daddy, we don't say that anymore. But this is something that we can all be proud of, because how many movies can you see that are all us? The writer was us, the crew, everybody was us. So I'm really, really proud of that. That we're telling a story that's timeless, and it really is a crossover story, but we're the ones bringing that story to everyone. So I think everybody that watches it can be proud and can identify with it. You don't have to be Black to identify with this story. Everybody has a grandchild, an aunt, someone in your family you're gonna look out for. But it's important that we were the ones chosen to bring that to life. So shout out to Stacie Davis Films, to Film Barrel Studios. They really were awesome. And just like Josh said, if we were slipping up a little bit, we were all being reminded, let's get this done. We're professional, we can do this. Don't doubt yourself, you got this.
What's your advice for building chemistry in a film? Anyone?
I think one of the things that Stacie Davis Hamilton does is make sure that we have rehearsals together. People think that you go shoot in 1 week and that's all that happens. We rehearsed for months before this film was put together. So building the camaraderie and the family kind of spirit between us, that was one of the things that she does. In the 2 movies I've been in, you don't just throw a cast together the day of the shoot. They have to get to know each other and kind of get used to each other and get used to being who your character is. So I'm struggling. Josh, I'm in my head, that's Eli, that's not Josh. Because you have to get used to who the character is. So when you're rehearsing, we don't call each other by our real names. We only use the character names because that character has to be real to you. And you have to gel with that character, not just with who you actually are as a person. So I think that's one of the things she said, make it your own. You heard it at almost every rehearsal. She would, okay, here's what your lines are, but now go ahead and make it so it's believable as your character. So I think that was one of the things that I learned from her. Learn your script and then make it you, so you're believable as that character.
It's kind of like a dance in a way, that you have to kind of move together in the scene. and you have to want the other person to win. It's not what, what we call in theater upstaging somebody is when you make it all about you. You just take over the whole scene. But when you're acting, you really want the other person to win. And it's like a volleyball match where one hits something over and you hit it over and you go back and forth, keeping your character in mind and the reactions and all of that. So, as Lala talked about that scene, when she ad-libs a scene, I got to give it back to her by the expressions or the next line. I can't, I'm going to do one up on you, or it can't be, it has to I have to feel a vibe from her and kind of give her back what she just sent back to me. How would Gwen react to what she just sent to me? And I think that's what makes it beautiful is when it's no longer the lines on the page. It's really a conversation that you're having with the other character, and you're really feeling it and moving it as it moves, almost like how air just moves effortlessly. The lines and what you would say next would move effortlessly. I think the hardest thing really in acting sometimes is to lay back. Because sometimes people feel like they ought to be, always jumping out and saying something or doing something. But the hardest thing sometimes is to lay back and to receive what you gave me, process it in the character and give it back, whether it's in the same energy or something a little different. But it's not to act, but it's to react. And I think that's the hardest thing about acting and chemistry.
I wanted to add something real quick. I know people would ask me, like, if I said, hey, I have to do a table read or something, or I know one of the things that I get asked a lot is like, is it hard to memorize your lines? Like, how hard is it to do it? And what I have known to do, I said, you think about it, it's just like learning a song. Like, if you hear something so many times, like, you learn it. So like Serilda said, us doing the table reads, you going over it. It's at that moment is when once you get the script, you're like, okay, I got to look at this. I got to look at that. I got to look at this. But once you do it so many times, it's like, the whole storyline already. Just so if you watch a movie on TV and you can tell somebody, hey, this is what the storyline is about. Boy meets girl, blah, blah, blah. And you can kind of give them everything in between. So when you're filming, if you don't kind of remember, sometimes that the other cast member will kind of feed you a little bit, or they'll kind of help you out. Or sometimes they may jump a line, but it brings you back, and you're able to kind of like shake it back and put everything back into place. I'm like, okay, if I was supposed to say something, but I missed everything in the middle of it, but I hit that last word, that's when they know to come in and say what they have to say, So that's always a good thing too. And that comes with the chemistry of knowing who you're on screen with and knowing those scenes that you're in with someone. But learning them lines it's not hard. Good thing with movies like Toni does theater, so once you on that stage, that's it. It's no cut. Let me run that back. Can I see my script? There's none of that. So that's another good thing about it. It's like during those takes, you can kind of pull your script out and see where you are and what I missed, and this is what we're gonna do next.
Stacie Davis Hamilton will continue to come, with these wonderful fire, if I must say so myself, Christmas movies. What would you say separates a Christmas blessing from Christmas in Carolina and then Another Christmas?
I think.
Go ahead, because you've been in two out of three, so I'm gonna let you answer. You've been in two.
I think that we've seen growth. A Christmas in Carolina, it was beautiful. It was beautifully done. But anytime you continue to do things, you grow and you change and you learn. So I think when you look at each of the movies, you look at them as building blocks because they are. She's increasing in her knowledge of how to do the movies and changing the cast up a little bit, but she's growing and she's getting better like each time. And I'm just excited to see what she's going to do next because I've seen the growth. So I'm looking forward to her continuing to grow and continuing to do more and more awesome Christmas movies.
I like to add on to that. I think also the actor choice that she has chosen We see bits and pieces of the personality come. And not only that, but you got to give credit to the writers as well. Stacie, um, just amazing, and it just expands the story up on that on each character. Each character brings something different. So I believe that actor choice and actually really figuring it out on who this character is and really breaking it down and letting us know as actors, like, okay, I choose you for a reason. You gave me what I wanted. Now this is how this person is played, the direction, that's real, that's key for me. um and I think that's what set us apart from the others, and also like Miss Serilda said, the growth.
Each movie that I saw from her, I do know one of the things, I hope she don't mind me saying this, she did say, in the first Christmas movie that she did, you want to know like what time of the year we're actually doing it. The title gives it to you. However, you want to see it. Like those Hallmark movies, it is all about, you can tell they're doing gingerbread houses. That's what she brought in, A Blessing this year. The parade was amazing. And that was something that was, that was given to us. And it was like, hey, the parade is this weekend. Let's put this in here. Andrea, you're going to be in there. So it's finding those different things that you saw in that last movie and making it better and bigger and more relatable. So actually watching every single movie it has definitely leveled up. So if she decides to write another Christmas movie, then I'm sure she's going to one up on that. It's just making sure that that you pay attention to those things of, this is what I did before. Let me find ways to revamp it and make it even better each time. So, and I will say each storyline has been completely different, even though everybody kind of finds love some kind of way. There are also other things that are going on within those stories as well. So maybe she can do Stacie, maybe you can do a Christmas abroad or something. Take us to Jamaica. Let us go to Jamaica for Christmas, or a cabin. I'm throwing that out there, in case you hear me.
Just a caveat on what Lala and the rest of the cast said. Stacie, she really did her research. I mean, she looked at not just past, Christmas movies. She looked at all other Christmas movies, and the first thing she harped on was outfits. Like for the one scene that I was in, I had to make sure that I still had the Christmas spirit in me. So I was very, dressed out as being Christmas. To every scene, like Lala said, the parade. When Josh and his future lady was in there walking out of the kitchen they were drinking like hot cocoa and stuff like that. Those small details that she was focused on, and she got all that stuff and she put it together and wrote this beautiful script. And on top of that, with the actors, getting into their roles, it just worked out perfectly. I'm excited whenever she does writes another Christmas movie. No telling what it's going to be. I know it's going to get better because always room for improvement, and she always tells us that. So,
and on that note, the cast of A Christmas Blessing, which is now streaming. All right, make sure you check it out. Cast, thank you so much. Let everyone know how they can keep up with you.
So Christmas Blessing is streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime. Make sure y'all go run it up. I don't care if you've seen it 2 or 3 times already. Turn it on and just fall asleep or do what you need to do, but just keep it rolling. You guys can find me on Instagram. I am on there at The Real Lala Show. That's all straight across, The Real Lala Show. And on TikTok, it's at The Real _Lala Show. So that's how you can find me.
You can find me on Instagram, enjoy, period, J Lou. Enjoy, ENJOY .JLOU. Instagram. That's where I am.
So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and websites and all of that. You could either Google me at Toni Henderson Mayers, on Instagram at Toni Henderson Mayers, Facebook at Toni Henderson Mayers, or Wise Courtship. I'm known as that. So Google either one of those. Toni is with an I, Toni. HENDERSON-MAYERS, and you'll find me all over social media.
She said you can Google me.
That's right, Google me, baby.
I am on IMDb Pro, also on Instagram, Serifoy2, and on TikTok, Serifoy2, on Facebook as Serilda Goodwin.
Yes, y'all can find me on Instagram, 222 Nathan, 222. I'm also on Facebook, IMDb Pro. Just Google my name, Chad Nathaniel Wilson, and also the final season of Fear of the Walking Dead season 8 is out. So I'm one of Troy's bodyguards, so y'all can look out for me on that one too. I think I've already been on a couple of episodes.
All right, and there we have it. Make sure you guys check it out. Continue to support their careers and keep a lookout for what they do next, okay? Until next time, thank you to all the viewers and the listeners. So booking cool.